Hi, everybody. This is Paul Hitchcock. Thanks for jumping on Giant TV. I am the founder and president of Giant Jacks Media, where we help you to grow and nurture your business. And very fired up, my guest here today, Jim Ristuccia. Jim, welcome.
Welcome. Thanks so much, Paul. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome.
I'm excited to be here and to share a little bit about what I'm doing and what I've been up to.
Yeah, you got a lot going on. We were talking offline, and I can't wait to get into this. And so, for those listening, Jim is a Vistage Chair in San Diego, and you were telling me, Jim, the first group you launched in 5 years in San Diego, my hometown. We both love San Diego, and which is awesome. But I want to hear about, first of all, how you got into Vistage. You know, I know you have a Navy background, which is incredible. Tell us a little bit about that, how you transitioned into Vistage, and let's go from there.
Yeah, I was basically deciding to do something different. So I left my last job, had a little disagreement. So it was like time to do something to change the pace. And I was like, I really didn't want to go back into the being a COO, CEO mode and just kind of grinding it out. Just got married recently. We're traveling a lot. So that like factors into there. I want to have a little bit of flexibility. Vistage reached out to me and I understood what the value of Vistage was, because I really, like at my core, I love helping people. I love like being that mentor role, about training people and elevating them up, all through the different jobs that I've had through my career. That's the part that I've always really enjoyed. I was a high school teacher. I was in the Navy for 10 years. I mean, I was, business owner. I was COO. I mean, I always loved like bringing my people up to the point where they didn't even think they could be. Just to raise them up, just like give them tools, empower them. And I love like when the light bulb comes on. Those light bulb moments are just amazing.
Yeah, I love it. And now your Vistage group, how did you get launched there, and who's in your group, and what is the scenario about what you're building, the people you're adding, and so forth?
Yeah, I mean, to start with Vistage, you have to be a former CEO, C-level executive business owner, which I was. And then you got to go out and you got to form your own group, which is really a challenge.
Yeah.
It's like herding cats. It's like trying to get all these people. You're aiming to get 16 people in your group. You need to get 8 to launch, but it's just like trying to get them together, get them focused on, hey, let's come to a meeting. And they think, whoa, I don't have the time to get away from work. But it's like, no, you got to work on your business. You got to step away from what you're doing to focus on it. Take that deep breath. Because a lot of like business owners and CEOs don't understand that like a key part of their job is to like just think and just look at their business, because no one else in the business has that perspective to say, what are we doing? Where are we going? Why are we doing it this way? Everyone else is just like on that hamster wheel, like constantly. And if the owner, CEO is on that hamster wheel, they're just not going to get to where they could potentially get to. But for me, just like launching the group it was a challenge, because just to get them going there took me about a year, but I got 9 members right now. I'm like super excited about my members. They just, they're great. They listen, they take notes, they engage, they're learning, they're implementing stuff. They're doing better. It's just this continual spiral of positivity, which I just love that aspect with it.
Yeah, no, awesome. 9 members is great. And are the members, obviously I know Vistage that it's non-competing. So there's members in different industries that are highly collaborative with you, where you're coming together on a monthly basis. What does that look like in that room? Is there just high energy going on there? And what are you doing in the room?
My job is to facilitate. And I'm always saying to myself, Jim, just shut up. Because if I'm talking in the meeting, I'm doing the wrong thing. Because it's in the meeting, it's all about them. It's all about just facilitating them to have a conversation. I do not need to put my 2 cents in. I don't need to weigh in. I just need to let them talk. If they're talking, everything is great. And they're always talking. So it's like my job is like the meeting is really pretty easy.
Yeah.
You're getting a speaker, you're having a program, an agenda. You just execute on that. It's really good. But their interactions, their sharing stories, their follow-ups, like how'd that go? What's going on with that? I'm work on this. Oh, I can help you with that. I have a contact. Let me share that with you. All that interaction. I just love that interplay with everything that's going on with that.
Yeah, because in that room, I mean, they got to let their guard down for that to be effective, right? And do you find that's a challenge for some of those leaders that come in there, let their guard down about challenges and things they're working on with the business and just take input. Is that a challenge, or does that flow pretty easily?
I mean, to be in Vistage, you got to be vulnerable. That's one of the key tenets of Vistage, is like just to be vulnerable, but you can't just like automatically get to vulnerable.
Right.
It's a process, and especially with a new group, I'm consciously working toward that point of being more vulnerable. And the key way to be vulnerable is you have to the leader has to model what you want. Mm-hmm. So the leader has to model like the direction that you're going in. So I have to share with my members the good, the bad, the ugly that's going on with me. It's not that, oh, I come to the meeting, everything's great. It's like, no, I come in, I talk about my teenagers, and I talk about the issues that I have and my concerns and the challenge with that. Because a lot of the people have teenagers, and they're all, kids are sitting home and doing video games, or they're depressed, and not don't have jobs, and we share that, and that's a concern that people have. But I'm sharing that to be vulnerable, to show I have this problem, and here's what I'm doing on it. And I share the things, and then they share their things. We open up about it. I mean, so we're getting there. It's not instantaneous, but it's process.
So you just hit a nerve with me. I got 3 teenagers, and I'm like, okay, I need to patch into that meeting because I got issues going on too. No, that's great. That's really neat. And then do your members outside of those monthly meetings where you get together, do they stay networked with each other and help each other going forward and outside of those monthlies?
Yeah, we're getting there. They definitely work together. I mean, a couple of my guys, like 2 of them got together. They both love motorcycles. Actually, one sells motorcycles and the other one loves motorcycles. So they were off trying out some e-bikes out in the desert type thing. I started a monthly buddy meeting where we're doing a round robin and everyone's getting together, either for coffee or drink or lunch or something like that. So it's a little more semi-formalized, where I'm forcing them to get together, and I'm keeping tabs on who's connecting, who's not, because I want everyone to connect on a personal basis, so they get to know each other, who they are.
Oh, that's great. That's the buddy thing is in person, and like what do you do? Just different people get together?
Yeah, I just come up with a schedule for the month, and these 2 people, you guys get together, you guys figure it out.
Oh, okay.
Coordinate, get together for breakfast, lunch, or just for coffee.
Yeah.
And they've had some really good conversations. They come back to me and says, "Oh yeah, I didn't know about this, that this person did this." I have, like, for one example, I have an environmental consulting firm, and I have another guy who's a startup SaaS software for an energy marketplace. Well, the guy who does the environmental consulting didn't realize that the CEO for the SaaS energy marketplace was also environmental. That's where he came from. That was his experience previously. So then they're able to bond, and they have a commonality on a topic that they wouldn't have known just from sitting in the meetings.
Yeah, very nice. Now your one-to-ones, those are huge and hugely important. So tell me, what are those like? How do you approach your one-to-ones with each member? What you do?
Yeah, but I just start off with typical coaching scenario. I start off with wins and challenges that they have, just kind of top level, just kind of figure out, get them, just kind of get them a little comfortable. And then we kind of figure out what's the most important thing that we need to talk about today. Like what's 81%, taking up 81% of your time. Like what are you focused on? What areas do we need to do? Vistage is really good. We have like a 1 sheet that they can prepare for their one-to-ones. I love it when they fill it out, because it asks them all like little detailed questions, just to kind of stimulate them on different thinking about what is going on in their life and in their business. So if they use that, that's a great tool to kind of help flesh out what an issue might be.
That's a sheet. You send that to them ahead of time?
I send that to ahead of time, yeah. So they get that when I'm sending out my confirmations for all their meetings. They'll get that, and then they use it. I had one time one of the members, he shows me a sheet, and you list like your top reports, and you rank them like 1 to 5. Like a 5 is like everything's great, and a 1's like not very good. And he lists his brother as a 2, and I'm like, okay, we need to talk about this like right now. Like what is going on with this? And it turned out that the brother needed to leave the company because he just wasn't performing, and he was just to the point where he was just ready to move on.
Oh, that's hard.
Showing his performance, and he wasn't performing well in the company and really wasn't contributing. So it was really helpful to have that conversation around that, to kind of, it's one thing to be in your head thinking about it, an idea. It's another thing to have to like force to verbalize what the issue is. Tell me about your brother. What's going on with that? How is he showing up? What do you think is causing those problems? Just asking these questions, and then having to actually talk about it, and then when the member like hears themselves talking about it coming out, it sounds different when you're actually saying it out and putting it out into the world. And that would give more clarity to say, yeah, I need to have the conversation with him to be able to move on. And then they had the conversation, it went well, and then the brother in like 2 months like moved on, which was great.
Yeah, that's insanely productive. I mean, having a resource like that, that's a very tough conversation. I can imagine with family and business. See the benefit there, big time. And are you going to, when you're doing the one-to-ones, are you meeting at the business, or are you choosing a different place? Like, where do you go for that, to the business?
For the most part, right now, since I just have my own group. I know there's some people who have like 4 or 5 groups, and I'm sure they have to like utilize Zoom a lot or like get people
triads. Yeah,
I like to go to people's office. I like to meet their staff. I like to see how their office is set up, and how neat their office is or disorder. I just like to get a sense of who they are and who the company is, and I love meeting with their people. And just hearing from their people, and it also is an opportunity to engage with their people, to have them come in the meetings and sit on the meetings, and that's been really productive when the member says, "Hey, can I bring somebody in?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's bring them in. Let's find out what's going on. Let's talk. What are their issues?" And sometimes it's a little bit different. There's some members that have like smaller businesses, or they might have people like their office is too small and they don't want the ears hearing what we're talking about. So sometimes I meet in like a coffee shop that's like a neutral place.
Got it. And you have open seats there. Who are you wanting to add to the group? I know you got a good mix going on, and you don't, adding the wrong person can destroy the chemistry you have. So who are you looking for?
Yeah, it's good, really good question. The model is to have non-competing industries. So you want to have people from different industries. And what I always say, we all have blind spots. And when you're in the meeting, I want people shine a flashlight on you. And I want the flashlight coming from as many different directions as possible. If the light's all coming from the same direction, if we all have the same group think and the same experiences, it's not a rich experience for you. So you need to get that diversity of talent. If you're like in a biotech company, why can't the hospitality person shine a light on you and talk about customer service and seeing it in a different way?
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that. And so that's an example like that. I'm looking for people still, hospitality is mentioned that. I'm looking for construction would be really good. I'm looking for someone with legal background, some of the accounting background would be good. And still manufacturing. I still could use it in manufacturing.
Yeah, no, it sounds like you have some great people in there. And I want to ask you this as, it's one of the last questions I'll ask. Talk forever about this stuff, but for you, Jim, being a chair, like, what helps you to be a chair? Like, as far as personality traits you have, I mean, I know you're very disciplined. I mean, what do you see as the strengths you bring to the table in being a chair?
I feel like I bring really good energy to the group. I really care about my people. I love the M. Scott Peck. His definition of love is like, the will to extend yourself to benefit someone else's or your own or someone else's spiritual growth. And in order to do that, you have to love your members. You make the choice to love them, and for them to grow and to do better. Just like you have children, except with members, I'm making the choice to love them. But with your children, you have to choose them to love them too, even when your teenagers like doing crazy stuff and saying, "Oh, they hate you," or "You're just stupid, Dad. You don't know what you're talking about." But you just need to love the members. You need to love them and show that. Put your arms around them to want them to do better. Mm-hmm. And that's part of the being vulnerable and asking the hard questions, getting them to be vulnerable, for me to be vulnerable, but just asking those questions that you don't necessarily want to ask, and then having them have to respond and answer those questions that they don't want to be asked. That's part of the process for them to grow, because they want to get to another level. So my job is to help them get to another level. So I love my members for them to get there.
That's great. Your passion comes through. It's evident big time. Yeah. Wonderful. I want to tell people that are viewing this, wherever you're viewing it, because we stream this everywhere, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, that Jim's contact information is going to be around here. Maybe it's up here, down here, or on the side, but get connected to Jim. He's a great guy. And a lot to learn from him. Jim, thanks so much for being here. I want to have you back on, track your progress. It'd be awesome, but thank you very much.
Well, thanks so much. It's been a blast. It's fun.
Yeah. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Okay.